Now, I could almost say that every one of the points that we're talking about today are my favorite point, but I think this is one that opened up a world for me of understanding and missional living and just what's really going on around us. Again, we talked about risk in the last one. So number 17, missional living people believe that everything experienced is rooted in the spiritual and have placed the supernatural as their highest reality. Thus, they seek to, and this is a key word, respond to each circumstance prayerfully and in tune with the Father before reacting according to the flesh. So I was teaching a Sunday school class just yesterday, and I said, what we see in this room right now is very real, but the angels standing in this room with us is the better reality. And so what's really happening in the supernatural, that is the highest reality that there is. And when we walk by the faith of that reality instead of just what we see, that opens up missions to us in a whole new way. When we recognize that co-laboring aspect with the heavens, with God himself, and all that implies, suddenly we start becoming less and less reactionary people, and we're responding, seeking to be in step and in tune with what God's activity is, not just what we see on earth.
Yeah, exactly. As you mentioned, Rob, when we talked about living by faith and have the eternal perspective tuned in with the right heart and the right sight, which is the sight of God, and have the sight of faith, the whole spiritual realm will be kind of clear to us, and we'll be acting in the spiritual realm and noticing that we need more prayer. And the spiritual realm is real, especially when you go overseas in different parts of the world, if it's South America, if even in the Middle East, which is very real. And I can mention a lot of things like spiritual warfare and all that, and that we got to take this really in consideration, because we don't do that. We don't tune into this kind of spiritual realm. We definitely be reacting in the flesh, and that's not good.
That's right. We're going to talk about spiritual warfare in a minute, but as I think you've seen as well, when there's the potential for a riot to break out in a camp, but suddenly you decide to respond in prayer, and we see the invocation of the name of Jesus and the peace of Christ, and watching an entire crowd just begin to just calm. When you experience things like that firsthand, you begin to recognize just how, and dare I say, unreal what we see is compared to what God's really doing. That's where I want to live. I want to live in that space where we're daily experiencing that very sense of God's activity. How about you?
Yeah, I will do the same thing. And that's the whole adventure of the journey of life.
That's right.
That's the action.
Yeah,
You don't want to be like just sitting down like, okay, that's what the journey of life. That was the life of Jesus, and that was actually the life of the apostles in the early church as well.
That's right. Amen.
أحبائنا في هذا المبدأ، الأشخاص والتلاميذ اللي بيتبعوا هاي المبادئ الحياة الإرسالية هم أشخاص متأصلين ومؤسسين في الحياة الروحية، في البعد الروحي بحسب مبادئ الملكوت، بأنه الأجواء الروحية هي أجواء حقيقية فوق طبيعية وممكن إنها موجودة. لذلك هم أشخاص اللي بيختاروا وانه يتجاوبوا مع هذه الظروف بمنطلق الارساليه، يتجاوبوا بالصلاه بقياده روح الله، وما يتجاوبوا بالجسد، لانه الجسد راح يقودهم للفشل والهزيمه. لذلك الحياه والاجواء الروحيه هي حقيقيه، والاتكال العمده الكليه هي على قوه الله، على الصلاه وعلى عمل روح الله.